What's up, Magnetic Men Club? We're here on this Friday with you again. Obviously, we're here every single Friday. We always have these topics for you guys. This is something that we actually covered this last, I think, 1.5 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we actually posted on this topic.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing is that the real cost of opportunities. Like, what exactly are these opportunities that you're taking cost you? Are you weighing the cost of your opportunities? One thing, too, is like it's kind of like an attribute system. We actually, when we choose to do one thing, we take away from another thing, right? It's kind of the old give and get. What are you willing to give? What are you willing to get? And really weighing those options out.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're excited to talk about this topic with you today. I'm Chase with Magnetic Men Club. Got my good friend Jared here.
What's up, kids? Happy Memorial Day. Let's not forget why we have a 3-day weekend. I am past military, and a lot of people forget of all the people that died for our freedom. So just take a moment and just reflect on why we're here, how we got here. It's off of, all of those men and women that made the ultimate sacrifice for their country. And I love my vets. I die for my vets, and I die for this country. So let's not forget that. That's a big part of some of the people I coach are vets coming back, kind of dealing with getting back into what's called normal society. So let's please just not forget why this weekend exists.
Absolutely. I'd like to take that opportunity to thank you for your service too.
No, I appreciate that. This is just bigger. This is, the ones that made the ultimate sacrifice. So this is a holiday for them. But
we're celebrating them. That's what this is all about. We're just celebrating these guys who made the ultimate sacrifice, the guys that have to spend all this time away from their family and the things that they have to go through.
Yep. So, but back to our topic. Now, this one is actually, and we'll probably do a live on the 5. There's a video coming up. I think we're posting it soon. And I broke these down. So each reason is its own video, and reason number 1 why your life doesn't get better is opportunity cost. Now, that's not the number 1 reason. I just listed it as number 1,
right?
Number 2 stuff. So there's actually 4 other reasons why most people's lives just don't get better. And before we dive into opportunity costs, we kind of really just want to talk about that harsh truth. There's a lot. This channel is for men and women, but mostly men who want to grow, who want to get some type of a path or a blueprint to their life. And here's the thing, you already have it within you. We just have to dig it out of you. We have to get past some of your limiting beliefs. But for the most part, I hate to say it, but truth is truth. Most people in life are just never going to get any better than where they are right now. And by joining this channel, by listening to our podcast, by listening to our YouTube, that's only part of it. It's actually doing the work. It's action.
True.
One thing to take this information and feel really good about it at the end, and you get all amped up and you're just ready to go and you don't do shit. This is where most people fail, is in the action part. And, I'm sure we're going to get people saying, F you, Jared, you don't know me. But the truth is truth. And the sooner people accept certain truths, the better your life will become in general.
Right.
So this idea, this part really applies to any form of self-improving, dating, health and fitness, chasing a particular dream, writing a novel. For most people, it's just never going to happen. And the reason why is on all of these 5 reasons, we're talking about opportunity cost today, but there are 5 reasons. But on all of these reasons is you're sabotaging yourself without even realizing it. But sorry.
You good?
You might not realize it, but more often than not, you're your own worst enemy. You're kind of like Edward Norton in Fight Club, punching the ever-living shit out of himself.
Right.
Trying to dispute every single attempt made by your brain to try to make things better. So remember, your mind is fighting you all the time. Your mind tries to maintain baseline. So anytime you try to do something new, anytime you try to dispute those patterns and create a new pattern, your brain is the first line of defense. It's going to fight you. And so once you understand that, once we get that part understood, that it's always your brain first, and that, you know, your brain, you're your own worst enemy, then you're able to accept these other 5 truths. Again, today we're talking about opportunity cost. But the good news is once you recognize it and you know you're sabotaging yourself, and you start to take action on actually fixing very small things first. We want to generate small wins. We don't want to create these long, lofty goals, these things. We want small little wins. And it's in those little wins, it's in those little steps that you do that you'll reach your goal.
Right.
And so this video specifically, we are again talking about opportunity costs and what that is, how most of us, me included, I'm not perfect in any way, but how opportunity cost is probably one of the biggest reasons why we tend to fall short on our goals, whatever those goals are.
Right. And these are all really subtle things, I think, too. Like, it's not really ever prevalent to us that these things are going on beneath the surface, especially with the self-sabotage stuff, too. Like, you don't always know that you are sabotaging yourself. You don't always know that your brain is trying to keep you in a comfortable position all the time. Your brain just wants to do what it's always done. And we think a lot of the time that we're consciously in charge. And a lot of the time we can be to a certain extent. And that takes a lot of willpower and self-discipline in itself. But at the end of the day, your brain is always trying to talk you out of stuff. It's always trying to talk you into just being comfortable. It's always trying to tell you that, you know, you just go sit down, just take the day off. You've been working hard. It's always in the background inside of your head, and you can't shut it up. Like, it's really hard to shut up. There's a lot of different techniques and stuff that you can use, but this stuff is not obvious, especially when it comes to opportunity cost too. Like, we don't always see that when we choose to do something that we're letting something else go. And we don't always see what the cost of that is over time too. Like, it's really just not obvious unless you sit down and look over the numbers and lay all those numbers out and like put it together a spreadsheet and try and decide on that. Like, you have no idea what this is costing you. Yeah. And so that's the biggest thing, is these are all really subtle things. They are.
And so do you want me to kind of just dive into this part? And I fall into this a lot now, not as much these days. Once I finally understood that this was actually one of my biggest hurdles I had to get past is giving up something that I liked for something better. And so, you know, it's always about time. You know, we all kind of forget that we don't have unlimited hours in the day, and we all complain that we don't have enough time to do X, Y, or Z. But whenever we take on a new goal for some reason, whether it's just to improve our social skills or start a new exercise program or train for a marathon, whatever that goal is, without stopping to think about how we're going to fit this into our current schedule, we just kind of magically think, oh, yeah, I'll start a gym membership. That's great. And I'll go to the gym, and you kind of forget you already have a full plate.
Yes.
So this is where people fall short. They have the idea, they get really excited about it, they start planning for it, and then bam, their schedule kicks in and they're like, shit, how am I going to do this?
Oh man, as an entrepreneur, all the time. That's the thing. You take on one thing, you're giving up another thing.
Yeah.
If you try to focus on having more clients, if you try to focus on doing other things in your business, adding other things on the top of it, or even starting another business, because that's a whole other opportunity. Like, it's going to take away from what you're already doing. You don't have more time. You don't have more energy, just like here.
Yeah. You know, that's the same thing. Like, time is, you know, it's just like energy. You can't create any more. You can only redistribute it. So every new action in our lives Every new activity, anything that we do, by definition, comes at the expense of something else.
Right.
So, this is opportunity cost. You're making a decision between really two mutually exclusive options. Understanding there's a potential gain for one option, but there's a price for another.
Right.
And so, so anything new in your life that you have to make a choice to give up something else. Now you have to weigh the value of everything in your day-to-day life and really what's a priority and what's not. What are you willing, what are you going to have to decide and what are you willing to give up? Which means more to you. That's really those two options, which means more to you and whatever this goal is. And so if you are constantly playing video games, what's more important to you? Yeah, you have this thought of you want to be more social. So what's more important to you? Playing video games or putting yourself out there to meet new people?
Right.
Spending time with your friends or getting to the gym? What's more important to you? Everything, we're willing to give up. For me, the only real time that I stayed consistent in the gym is giving up sleep. I got up at 5:30.
Same, yeah.
To get to the gym because I knew the way my schedule goes on a given day that, I might be able to get there at 5 or 6 at night, but it's not consistent and I'm tired. And my brain would then say, you're really tired. You had a hard day. You don't need to go. You're fine.
Exactly.
So it's creating that hard rule. It's creating that, am I willing to give up a couple hours of sleep, get up at 5, get to the gym, chug down a protein shake, take a shower, dress, and get out the door to go to work? Or does waking up at 7:30, not getting to the gym, slowly having a nice meal, screwing around on Facebook for a while, that's your choice. That's
one thing too, for me personally, that I've noticed over time too, while going to the gym, I have never regretted going to the gym, just getting over it, going there, getting it done. Every single time, I always felt better.
Yeah.
I have regretted many times missing the gym.
Yeah. But a lot of people, if they're not used to going to the gym, but they want to start the program, they're really good in the beginning. It might be a week or two that they're going at 5, they're doing it all. And then our brain will always try to fight us. It'll be one day you're sore. It might even be a Thursday, a Friday. You're like, man, the weekend's coming up. I'm sore. I'm tired. I just want to sleep in. And as soon as you make that decision, you've made a choice.
Right.
What is more important? You've just decided that 2 hours of extra sleep is more important to you than the goal of getting into shape. So it's all about what you're willing to sacrifice. Are you willing to sacrifice something in order to make progress to a goal? Or are you not? I mean, it's not a value decision or it's not a value judgment I'm making on anyone. I'm just plainly pointing out to somebody, this is your choice. And if you choose, in our situation of say 5 o'clock in the morning versus waking up at 7:30, if you choose the 7:30, well, you've just made a choice that your sleep is more important than the gym. That's it. It's not right or wrong, good or bad. It's just a choice you made. But a lot of people will then use excuses, and I hate excuses. No, that's a choice. That's just your choice. Well, I can't get to the gym. I just don't have enough time. I tried it at 5. It just didn't work. No, you valued that sleep more than the gym.
One of the things too is you're not trying to convince anybody else. You're trying to convince yourself. They're like, oh, This is a validated decision. I'm too tired. I'm too busy. I already did this all this week. I feel so much better now that they're just trying to make themselves feel better about the choices they're making.
Right. And so when they make that choice and they get really good in the beginning, and then their brain starts kicking in and they get DOMS, which is delayed onset delayed muscle soreness, then that real work starts getting in. I use the gym a lot, guys, just because we can all relate. Men and women, we can relate. Everybody wants to be in better shape. Even the fattest person generally wants to be in better shape. But it's the decisions, it's their opportunity costs that are getting in their way. They're deciding one thing is more important than another one. So the gym's just good. It could be if you're in a marriage and you want to get out of it, you have an opportunity cost. The cost of marriage, not even in dollars and cents, just the cost of all that time you put into somebody, and you're nothing more than strangers sitting at empty tables now.
The sunk cost fallacy. Yeah, we all run into that.
Going back out and meeting new people, there's an opportunity cost. Everything you do, there's a cost to it. And that's the whole point of the video, is just getting people to understand that you don't get the right to make the choice against your goal. If your goal is to get in better shape and you get up at 5 a.m. and 2 weeks later you fail at that, you don't get the right to say, well, I tried this. Try is a lie. You made a choice that the sleep was more important. Right. And I need to drill that into people's head, because when I do coaching, I don't allow this. I don't allow no. You made a choice in this decision, whatever it is. I'll support your decision, but you don't get to go back and say, well, I'm still, I still tried. No, I'll support your decision, but you made a decision. Your decision's your decision.
Truth.
And it's very frustrating being a coach sometimes because of this. People come to me with they're stuck in something. They want this, they want that. We give them a blueprint and then they don't do it, or they sort of do it. Look at, guys, you have to go all in on whatever it is you want in this life. If it's to be social, if it's to have a better quality dating life, it's to get into the gym to make more money, you have to be all in. You can't just try. You have to take in what you have, look at the position of the board that you're in your life, and start making hard choices. Start doing this comparison of opportunity costs and everything. Like, does this serve me? If it doesn't serve me, why am I doing it? Oh, because this is too hard.
Right.
This is hard. This is going to do a lot of work. And again, it's not a value judgment against anybody listening to this. It's your brain basically running you. Your brain's like, no, we're going to keep doing this. Oh, yeah. This is the easiest path. This is what we're going to do. And the only way to beat that is action and turning off that autopilot part of your brain and just forcing every day, force until that goal and your brain starts getting it. It says, okay, Jared, I guess we're going to the gym every day at 5. Like I've yelled at you, we're doing it. And it's a rewire. It's a reprogram.
That's the cool thing too about being in this coaching program and being on the back end of this and talking to a lot of these guys as we go to it. Like, you start to notice, like, well, man, who are you trying to convince here? Like, are you trying to convince me? Or are you trying to convince yourself here that you need to do this, that you don't need to do this? A lot of it comes from limiting beliefs. A lot of it comes from overwhelming habits and things like that too, that these people just can't get over. And at the end of the day, it's a choice to get over it. And sometimes you have to experience the pain in order to get past it. Sometimes you have to experience the pain of going through that and kind of seeing for yourself that, okay, this wasn't the right path. You were right. Let's try this now, and that kind of stuff too. Because a lot I said, like, that comes from limiting beliefs. It comes from habits and things like that too. We're so used to doing certain things, and our brains look at it as an energy cost. So your brain just wants to conserve as much energy as possible. Yes. And it doesn't want you to be uncomfortable too. So when you're at the gym and you're making those reps and you're pain the next day you just can't even get up. You can't even lift your freaking arm. You can't even lift your freaking legs. And it's like, your brain's like, oh man, you're dying. Why are we doing this? And that's the way it looks at everything too. Like, you're gonna die. Don't do this anymore. You can't be uncomfortable like this. Let's just go back to what we were doing. It was working, man. What's going on? And so your brain is constantly trying to convince you. The moment you wake up in the morning, as soon as you wake up, as soon as you open your eyes, your brain's on and it's going, okay, well, let's not do this. Let's not do this. Let's just take it easy. And it's sitting there trying to rationalize everything to you. And sometimes we look at it like it's ourselves, consciously trying to make that choice. And it's like, no, your brain's trying to talk you out of what you really want. And you need to see it for that.
Yep. Just remember when we were kids, you have little kids. I remember my kids, when they're 3, 4 years old. This is a perfect example. They'll go to a playground and they'll walk up to any other kid. They or all of them. Yeah. They don't care. They're like, hey, I'm so-and-so. Hey. And they're hugging and they're playing. And then something happens from the time you're a little kid to you're an adult where you're scared to talk to that stranger now. A lot of it is your programming. Your parents don't talk to strangers. Stranger danger, all of this. It's a program that you don't even realize. And again, your brain is definitely trying to keep you safe. It could care less if you're happy. It wants you to be safe. So people that have this goal to go have an amazing dating life or just an awesome social life, well, if they're inside and they have this condition where I just like playing video games, I just want to be kind of incel and just do me. Yeah, I want to go connect because every human wants to connect with other humans. We all want it. The people that say they don't are full of shit. We're programmed. We have a biological imperative to connect with other people. So if you're trying to get out there more, again, opportunity cost, what's more important to you? Feeling that resistance, feeling that maybe being scared just to walk up to someone and say hi, or sitting there playing Dungeons and Dragons or whatever the video games are now. It's
they call it the approach anxiety, right?
Fortnite. Well, that's still an opportunity cost. It's easier to play Fortnite and say, you know what, I'll go meet more people tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes. Yeah, you know what? I got a killer game going. I'm going to do this. Your brain is fighting you. Your brain wants to make you play Fortnite because that's comfortable. That's what you're used to.
You're safe.
People that are overweight that kind of eat a lot, and that's their comfort, is they tend to overeat. A lot of it is out of boredom. And so there's your opportunity cost. Stop eating so much. Start reducing your caloric intake, reducing your weight, replacing that with healthier activities, or continue to eat. Bet your ass your brain is going to want you to continue to eat in the beginning. You have to fight that. You have to fight. I'm hungry. You're not hungry. You are not hungry. And so these are all opportunity costs, and it's just a choice that you make. It's not a right or wrong choice. It's your choice, but your choices always have consequences. That's all I need people in this live to understand. None of what you choose is wrong. None of it. It's just a consequence of something else that you want, but you're not willing to go after. It costs too much. That opportunity cost is too great for you. And just admit it, that's fine. If it wasn't too great for you, if you're really willing to do it, yes, you're going to have problems. You're going to have struggles. You're going to have situations where this same thing, somebody else's opportunity cost might be less. Let's say we'll use the same thing with going to the gym. You have to work. There might be a friend of yours who doesn't have a family. He doesn't have to work as much. So his opportunity cost is less. He can get to the gym maybe at 10 o'clock. You can't. He can get to the gym at noon. You can't. But you still have the same cost. His might just be easier, but he still has to go do the work. Right. You still have to go do the work. So it's not without consequences. It's going to be harder for some people. but life's not fair. Who gives a shit? That's just life. So you got to suck it up. You can't say, "Oh, this person, he's always in the gym. This person's all I want to be like him, but he always has this time." Well, you don't know that person. That person might work nights. You don't know.
Truth.
This is for you. And once you start making these excuses of why you can't do something, you've made a choice. Just live with the choice. That's it.
Yes, I like that. That's really good philosophy too. Because the big thing too is, like I said, it's really not obvious that this stuff is going on behind the surface too, and like what somebody else is going through really has nothing to do with you, and it really has. It's not. That's not the thing that's keeping you from doing what you need to do. Like he puts in the work. He might have different circumstances, but that's got nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with your life. That has nothing to do with your results. Your results are dependent on you no matter what you're going through. So you just kind of have to accept it for what it is and just say, okay, well, I'm going to do it anyway. Doesn't matter. I'm going to find the time. Because there is time. There's always time. That's the biggest excuse I hear from a lot of people. It's like, oh, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the energy. And it's like, well, change that. You can change that. You can absolutely have more energy if you ate better. You can absolutely have more time if you reallocated your schedule better. If you really stuck to a schedule in the first place anyway, too. Like there's a lot of different things that you can do. And like even trying to convince yourself to get up and do these things is a big thing too, because it's really hard to try and get over what we've always done. Your brain just wants you to keep doing whatever you keep doing because it's automatically put, like it's the neurons have already connected there. It doesn't have to reconnect things. It doesn't take any additional energy to just do what you've always done. Plus there's the mystery of things too. And your brain doesn't like mystery. It doesn't like it when it doesn't know, when it's in a situation that it's unfamiliar with, because now it has to learn. It has to analyze more. It has to do more work, and that's all your brain sees. And so it's always going to try and talk you out of it. That's why people fail 1 week after going to the gym. That's why they fail 2 weeks after going to the gym. That's why you see everybody so motivated around New Year's to rebuild themselves and new year, new you, that stuff. It's over by the end of January. Nobody's even trying anymore. I've seen it again and again inside the gym. Like, you know how many people are in the gym on January 1st?
Yeah.
You know how many of them are still there on January 30th? I think anybody who goes to the gym sees that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a lot of it has opportunity costs. And then they're actually getting into the heat of it. People give up too soon. They don't see results. If you've been a fat ass all your life and then you go to the gym, it's like it took you years to get overweight. It's not going to be overnight.
Exactly.
So
gotta have strong body.
There's another play. Yep. There's another play going into it. But at the end of the day, it's just a choice that you make. And there are some things that you can do if you really want that goal is don't think of this goal. This is how I tell my clients when they want to start a goal, we start very small. Okay. One of the girls that I coach, she wanted to get better at, just getting back in the gym. She used to be very active in the gym, and then years went by. She had some health issues, and she knew getting into the gym, was the right thing to do, but really for her health, she needed to go back to the gym. So her why was pretty strong. But what a lot of people do, just like your analogy on the 1st of January, they have this image that they're going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger in like 3 weeks and all this.
It's true.
The mountain looks very small from a mile away, but when you get to that summit and you look up, that goal is huge.
Right.
And so one of the things you can do, again, you still have to make the choice, is make smaller goals. So what we did with her is I said, listen, we're going to make a bronze, a silver, and a gold goal, little wins to get to your end goal. And so we started backwards. I said, what is the gold goal? To be at the gym 5 days a week. Great. Perfect. That's your goal. What is the bronze? What's the minimum we can do right now just to start the win? I want to go 2 days a week for 10 minutes. Great. Okay. So we committed to 2 days. It was a Wednesday and a Thursday, I believe it was, and go in 10 minutes. That's it. Well, guess what happened? She stayed 20 or 30.
Right.
But she stayed 2 days a week. And we did that for, I think it was 2 weeks. The silver was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 20 minutes. Well, by the time she got into that silver, she was already in her gold. And she really reflected on this. She goes, it seems so hard to think of the final goal until you broke it down. And you can do this. It doesn't mean it can be the gym, it can be dating, it can just be out there social. A small goal you can do if you just want to be social is I'm going to talk to one new person a week. Just say hi to some stranger. Very small. Doesn't matter if they say F off, get away. It's just say hi.
Yes.
Once you get that little win and you realize you're not going to die, then we start. Maybe your silver is going to be, you know what? You're going to talk to 3 new people a week, and it's got to be done by Friday. So you can't use your weekends. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever it's going to be. So you want to start small. You still have this opportunity cost, but you're balancing it a little more. You're not thinking, oh my God, I have to do all of this right now. Start small.
Keep it manageable. Yeah.
Once you start getting little wins, now you're kind of reprogramming your brain and says, oh, I thought that person would bite my face off by saying hi. Didn't happen. I kind of liked the person saying hi back. I kind of liked having some dialogue. I kind of realized it's okay. And that's how you want to move to any goal, any achievement, starting a business. Don't have the thought it needs to be $1 million in 5 years or 3 years.
It won't be.
Have the thought of, I want to just develop the business. I want to do the work. And it can be, I'm not going to give up my 9 to 5. This can be a side hustle. We have a bunch of side hustles that we're going to be sending out soon, but
yes,
it's small wins. Small wins will get you to the big wins. Never think of, I need to have this win, whatever this goal is. You know, I coached one girl a couple years ago. You know, her goal is to get married. Now that's a gold goal. That's huge. Yeah. But she hated men. So I'm like, well, we have a problem, you know, and a lot of it had to do with the men screwed her over, or she thought screwed her over, some of the things she was doing. But again, the opportunity cost. Well, if you don't put yourself out there, how can you get married? I get that. And so we had to balance this with small little wins. And I believe I want to say it's either this September or next September. I forgot. She messaged me about 3 weeks ago just to kind of let me know what's new in her life. I don't really know her that. I mean, we're not really Instagram. She's like, I can't believe it. You know, again, small little wins. She met a fantastic guy. They dated 7-8 months and he asked to marry her, and she's actually going to jump on some coaching with me because she doesn't want to F it up. I'm like, great, probably a good idea. So
yes.
But yes,
yeah.
But if she didn't take that opportunity cost and have that courage to let this wall down a little bit and allow some people to, you know, enter her life and court her and all this stuff, then if she just stayed shut down, she wouldn't be married.
Well, that's the thing too, is we tend to pigeonhole things. Like we tend to pigeonhole everything. Like we look at one thing for what happened to us. Like maybe you're trying to be more social, and maybe when you were a kid, you got shut down by a girl you asked out, or a boy, whatever. Maybe you got shut down by a couple friends that you were trying to make friends out of. And I've seen this shut down people entirely, like to a point where they can't even make sales because they can't even reach out to people because they're so scared of what's going to happen in that conversation. They're so scared of the rejection. And this is what when trying to tackle this with my kids, I always told my kids, like, don't be scared to ask for things. You can't get what you don't ask for. Don't be scared of other people. Just go talk to people. Just say hi. Go ask them for the time. Don't make it overly complicated. Don't overthink it. Not everybody's an asshole. Not everybody's got it out for you and all that stuff too, because this is what we tend to think. We get caught up in our heads and we tend to just pigeonhole the whole situation. Like I've seen it a lot with a lot of feminists and a lot of girls who go down that line and say, hey, you know, like all men are assholes. All men are pieces of crap. You know, same thing with the men on the other side. I've seen this a lot in the red pill communities and stuff too. they're scared of women. It's like, okay, well, show me on the doll where they hurt you. It's like, it's okay, man. Just get out there and try again. They're not all like that. I promise you. And those small steps are really important, just like you mentioned.
Yeah. And it's all, again, you have to just ask yourself on everything new, any new idea or any new goal, anything, what are you willing to sacrifice? Because you're going to have to give something up. Now, again, when you do it, this little steps, these little goals, it doesn't make it feel so hard. You can still play your video games, but now you have a task. I'm going to meet one person a week. And if you lie to yourself and say, yeah, I did, but you didn't really do it, that's still on you. It's still the choice. At the end of the day, the beauty of opportunity cost in really your own life is, I don't care if you lie to me. You're lying to yourself. So if you're one of my students and I'm coaching you and you say, yeah, man, I did it, but it's not working, I pretty much know you're lying, because there's no way to do these steps. What's not working? You're not moving into the right direction. No, I got, it could be something as, oh, well, she rejected me. So all women, they just want good looking guys. No, you're missing the point. Is you're not social. Maybe you didn't give her a good enough reason to want to date you. Maybe you're boring, maybe whatever.
And it's one scenario.
But they fall back into that thought like, oh, no, it's better just, I don't want to be social anymore. I'm cool to die alone. I'm cool with that. Great. You made a choice.
Well, and that's the thing too, is everybody has excuses to stay where they're at. And if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. Like, even in this coaching program, like, we're not going to fight for your limitations. If you want to fight for your limitations, that's on you. If you want to spend the money on this, get into this and try to hold yourself accountable. That's really what this is all about, is holding you accountable to what you say you want. Right. But at the end of the day, if you want to fight for your limitations, guess what? You get to have them. That's why you got to keep your goals attainable and make sure that you have small goals that you can fight for. Because if you achieve small goals, you feel the same as when you achieve the big goal. And so if you, in business, like for instance, right, if I'm trying to make $1,000 a week, that's cool. Like, that's an attainable goal. You can actually do that very quickly. It's not going to take you very long. But if your goal is to make $100,000 your first month, you're going to have a bad time. That's the thing. You got to keep your goals manageable.
And back to opportunity costs, guys, if you're listening to other, what's that thing, Chase? You see those ads come up where you see these businesses popping up. Hey, you can make $10,000 your first month. Yeah. They're actually playing into your opportunity costs as well. They're saying, oh, it's easy. All you got to do is this. All you got to do is that.
The gurus, the MLMs, all that stuff. Yeah.
Remember, they're actually playing into your opportunity costs. So, like, you don't have to give up anything in order to do this. The lie. All you just gave up is your easy $4.99 to buy their program or whatever it is. You just gave up money. And a lot of what they're telling you is common sense. Like, oh, yeah, So if you fall into that, remember, it's going to cost you. Everything is going to cost you something. So if you see these videos popping up and you see these things, or maybe you're even actively looking for easy businesses that you can make a lot of money in, I promise you're going to find it. I promise you'll find it on the internet, but it's not what you think it is. It's a ploy to get you to pay something. You have to put in the work. I run 4 companies. Chase knows we're always putting our brain power together. We're always tweaking this, always tweaking.
Adapt.
I'm up all the time. I'm here in North Carolina right now. This is Memorial Day weekend. I'm working. Now, granted, I'm going down for a couple days to see my girlfriend, but I'm working here on a Friday night. After this, I have a client. Tomorrow all day, I'm working. My opportunity cost, I chose, whether you like it or not, to give up time with my family in New York to come down to work. I made that choice. Some people are like, oh, I need my time off. You work too much. Well, look at
balance.
It's just me. Like I choose this lifestyle. Yes. Would I like to spend more time with my own family? Yes and no, because I know my purpose. What I'm doing is helping other people as well through pretty
Right.
much all of my companies. I'm helping people in some area of their life. So it's a choice that I don't want people to fall into this excuse-itis, like, oh, I tried this and it didn't work. Well, no, you gave up too soon and you decided that what your old pattern was more important than this new pattern. That's it. Case closed. You have no other argument. That's what you decided.
Well, you get what you want. We always get what we want. We don't get what we need. We always get what we want. Like, you don't see a lot of people out there advertising, milk and water and all these things that we actually need. You don't see the utility companies out here like, oh, you need utilities. They know you need it.
Yeah.
And so that is what it is. Like, for marketing, it's all about what you want. They want to provide you with what you want, or they want to make you want something. And so that's really what it is it's what you want. Like, do you want this thing that you said you wanted? Do you want to attain this thing? Because if you really want it, you're going to get it. Or if you want to be comfortable and you want to stay in bed and you want to sleep longer, you're going to do that. That's just the thing. We always get what we want. That's why you have to have a strong purpose and a strong why, because no matter what, you wake up and you're like, dude, I know what I'm doing this for. I know why I'm doing this. I know I just got to get out of bed. I want to do this more than I want to stay in bed.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think there was a saying, I'm not sure who said it, but what you tolerate, you accept.
Right.
Everything in your life you want to bitch and moan and complain about, you're accepting it because you're not changing it. And again, opportunity cost is only one. There's 4 others. We'll do live on each 4. There's 4 other videos about it, but it's not just this. But opportunity cost is probably, I would say, number 2 out of the 5 we're doing. We just happened to pick this video today. But again, I'm not judging you. You've just made a decision, and it's up to you to recognize that. Once you recognize it, then you can change it. You're like, you know what? You're right, Jared. I did give up. I wanted to sleep 2 extra hours. I really do want to go to the gym. Great. Don't make it so hard for yourself. How about one day a week, you get up at 5 o'clock, go to the gym. Just make a bronze, a silver, and a gold. Get back up to
I like that.
Your thing. Yeah. That's all you want to do. You want to take baby steps on whatever this goal is. You don't want to be at the edge of this summit and looking at this mountain and say, fuck, I can't do it. Nobody has climbed a mountain all at once. They took a step. They might have had to move. There might have been a freaking snake in. Who knows? They had to do this. They had to do that. It's never straight up. You always have to pivot and move. But the goal is to get to the top of the mountain. Right. So get to the top of the mountain. I don't care how long it takes you. That's not the point. The journey is the point. So when you are fit, let's say you're 20 or 30 pounds overweight and it's been bugging you, don't worry about losing 30 pounds. My goal is to get to the gym, and I'm going to do it this way, little by little. Before you know it, you're down 30 pounds, razor cut, and you're like, wow, guess what, my friend? You just made to the top of the mountain. Now it's easy to maintain that. You just keep doing what you're doing. Take little bites of whatever your goal is. Just push that needle forward every day a little bit. And I promise you, at the end, you've already reached your goal. And then you're looking around like as an inspiration to other people. And they're like, wow, how did you do it? People want the secret formula. It's fucking not secret. Is I did the work. Now, I might have not done the work. I might have not gone 5 days a week. I only gave myself 3 days a week, but I cut back on eating. I don't care how you get there. If your goal is to get there, I'll help you get there on your terms, but we'll hold you accountable to it. And then we're going to increase it just a little bit.
Right.
Again, you just have to understand that if you don't want it bad enough, your brain's gonna help you and say, yeah, no, man, it's only 30 pounds.
Right.
Who cares if you don't have friends, man? You got all these virtual friends online, man. Yeah, it's cool. You don't need a girlfriend, man. Someday you'll have an awesome, amazing girlfriend.
Trying to rationalize.
She's going to be a 10. Your brain will help you on either thing. Whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right. That's what I tell my clients all the time. It's all in your beliefs. So that is probably the number one way to beat this, is just take little bites out of your goal and create very small little wins. As soon as you get little wins, then you'll keep getting those little wins until you get to that goal, whatever that goal is for you.
That's what makes it manageable too. Because like, obviously, like, you got to keep it realistic. Like, it's not realistic to become a millionaire in 2 months. It's not realistic to lose 30 pounds in 30 days.
Yeah.
It's just not realistic.
Yeah.
And so if you set yourself up for that and you say, I'm going to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, and you start setting out and you're like 3 weeks later, you still look the same, like, you're going to feel disappointed in yourself. You're going to feel like you failed.
Yeah.
And so realistically, like, well, okay, well, how much can I lose a week? How much can I lose in a month? How long is it going to take me to lose that 30 pounds? And then breaking that up into those small chunks and being happy with every single milestone. So being happy with just making it to the gym 10 minutes twice a week, right? Yeah. Being happy with moving into the next phase of that. Say, okay, I'm going to go 30 minutes, 3 days a week. Okay, now I'm going to go 5 days a week. I'm going to make sure I stay there for at least 30 minutes and just keep building into that. And no matter what, it's not hard to go from 2 days, 10 minutes to 3 days, 30 minutes, and you can feel happy at every single phase. Because the problem with our brains is they're not very good at thinking long term. Like, they want satisfaction right now. They want immediate gratification. And so if they can't achieve that 30-pound loss in 30 days, you feel like you failed. And it just upsets you, and it just sets you farther back. And so that's the biggest problem. You got to make it manageable. If you want to be a millionaire, well, you could probably be a millionaire in 5 years. But you're going to have to set up your goals that way to make sure that you're actually achieving those goals. So you know you're on track. You have to set that up. You can't say, okay, well, I'm going to be a millionaire in 5 years. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be a millionaire in 5 years. Like, sit down and plan, man. And you got to sit down and see if there's a market for things. See what kind of business you want to go into. You got to set up those milestones and say, okay, I probably reached $30,000 a month in my first 6 months, maybe a year, and we're okay with that. And then we'll move forward from there. And we'll move forward from there. And setting that up into manageable pieces so that you know you're on track. Like I said, if you decide to go to the gym 2 days a week for 10 minutes, then the next week you're going to do 30 minutes for 3 days a week, you're on track. And you can be happy just about being on track. You can say, okay, I know what I'm going after, and I know I'm achieving these little milestones. That's going to keep you on track. That's going to keep you happy through the whole thing, because it's not hard to make those small jumps.
Right. Yep. Again, it's just creating those little wins. That's all we want to do. Don't eat the whole cake. Just have a little bit, and probably cake's not a good analogy, but you know what I mean. You just want the little wins. And because you're rewarding your brain, you're telling your brain to F off, because you're actually doing something it doesn't want to do, but you're rewiring your brain. Eventually it's going to give in and say, this is a routine now. It takes about 21 days to create a habit. Typically. Good habit or bad habit takes about 21 days. So it's getting into that routine. Well, start small, create those little wins, and then that habit will come. Don't just think about it as, I have to be perfect at this day one.
Right.
You're not going to be. And that's another thing that people fall into. It does fall into opportunity cost, is if they're starting a new business or a whole new career and they're weighing, like, I really have always thought sales would be good, but this 9-to-5 salary job, I get, 3 weeks off plus weekends. You have that choice.
There's nothing wrong with stability.
Nope, this is comfortable, but I have this goal. I want to be this type of salesman. Maybe it's a realtor you want to be, maybe a car salesman, maybe a high end you want to sell freaking jets. I don't know. You have a choice. Neither choice is wrong. It's just you made a choice. So if you stick with this, it's not wrong, but you will have regret, number one, because you're always going to wonder what if. You're also going to kind of have that feeling of you've already failed without even trying. And that's what I don't want people I coach, people I do YouTube videos with, all of this stuff. I don't want anyone to die with regret. And that's the biggest thing and you have to give it all. Everything you do, if you have a goal, your goal is to dominate that goal. But you want to do it in little wins. And so if you fail, great, pick yourself up, redo it, change the angle, change whatever you're doing, get back on that goal. Don't just fall back and say, well, I tried. It's bullshit. You didn't try.
That's the thing, though. You're going to call yourself on that. Like, if you believe without an ounce of doubt that you tried your hardest, that you gave it your all, even if you don't get it, you're not going to regret it because you tried as hard as you could. You put everything you could into it, and it just didn't pan out the way you thought it was going to.
Right.
The thing is, too, is putting any amount of effort into anything is still going to get you results in other areas of your life.
Right.
You have to understand, too, like, it's not all lost. There's no sunk cost fallacy here because I built these skills up. I can try again. I can do something else. It's not a problem.
Right.
I've been to the gym. I got my muscles back, and it's okay. I can try again. I can go back and I can try again and try again and try again. You can feel satisfied with that. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing, too, is if you know you're not trying hard enough and you're trying to rationalize it, you're trying to make excuses for it, you're trying to validate it just to make yourself feel better or just to keep people from judging you for it, you're going to live in regret. There's no other way around that. The only way for you to go is regret because you know for a fact you could have done better. You knew for a fact that you had more in you and you just didn't put it in. Yeah. And that's going to lead to regret. That's the one thing that we don't want you guys to fall into because it's a trap, man. And it's one that's really painful. And it's so painful to get to 50, 60 years old and realize most of your life is behind you and you didn't try as hard as you should have. You didn't do as much as you should have because even Alex Hormozi talks about it like a gun, right? You've got 6 shots in your lifetime. And every single time you take one of those shots, that's another bullet gone. And if you've only got 6, once they're gone, they're gone. You're 60 years old. You're 70 years old. Those shots are gone. There's really not much you can do. And so it just leads to regret. And that's the rest of your life. Because the problem with our brains, too, is they're drug addicts. And what we do and what we think is what causes those drugs to form, right? And so if I'm constantly thinking in my head that I'm stressed out because of this, I'm anxious, that's leading to cortisol. And that's actually going to make me feel worse. Yeah. Whereas if I just decide to go to the gym, I get those endorphins and I feel like, okay, well, I set the goal for this week, right? I'm going at least 5 days, 30 minutes per day. And as long as I did that, I'm going to get the dopamine because I'm going to feel achievement. Yeah. And so that's the big thing is your brain's a drug addict and it's trying to get those drugs all the time. That's really all it wants. That's how it drives it. That's how you make it even want to do things. That's exactly how life built us, right? Yep. We have those drugs to drive us forward. And that's really what it is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 1,000% correct. I couldn't said it any better. Your brain is on all of these lives that we'll do specific to this. The one common denominator is your brain. Your brain is fucking with you every single day. It's your brain. You can make all the excuses you want. It's your brain helping you. And so one of the things, again, really the only way to fix that is you have to take action. And when I say massive action, even the little bronze wins to your brain is massive. It's like, oh my God, I'm not used to it.
It's all the same.
I got to go here. It's all the same. Your brain doesn't know the difference. It's massive. So make them small, massive for you. And then eventually you'll get to that goal. But again, it's consistency. It's always about consistency. Everything in life is consistency. Everything. You have to stay consistent. Even if it's 3 days a week, stay consistent at 3 days a week. Hold yourself accountable. If it's 1 day a week, you know what? I promised myself I'm going for 10 minutes on a Wednesday. You're doing it. Great. Even if you hold that line for 2 weeks before you kind of get that nerve to maybe do two days a week, you just stayed consistent. So that's a win. A lot of people in life are not consistent. They say one thing. I never believe a freaking thing someone tells me. Show me. And I'm not really over impressed by the things people tell me. It's what they do on a day. Like their best day, I don't give a shit. What do you do every day?
Right.
And so that's the mentality you want to have is, yeah, you might have awesome days where you feel like going to the gym for an hour. Maintain that bronze until you're ready for that silver, until you're ready for that. It's just maintaining consistency in everything you can do. But manage your time. When you have a new goal, again, we're getting back to opportunity cost. Really just sit back and say, okay, where can I fit this? What am I going to give up? What am I willing to remove from my life or limit in my life to fit this into my calendar? Put it in your calendar. At that point, put it in your calendar and start holding yourself accountable to your calendar. I live and die by my calendar. If it's not on my calendar and somebody throws me a wrench, I'm like,
It's true.
Half the time it's not going to happen. If it's not on my calendar and someone's, hey, you want to go here? We've got this ticket to I don't do concerts. I think they're dumb, but I'm just saying, not on my calendar. Sorry, I got this, and this to do. I live on my calendar. So,
well, and maybe you're just starting out too, and you don't have a fully fledged calendar to look at and stuff too. And like, do a time audit. Just start doing a time audit. Like, just start taking track of, okay, well, I did this in the morning, I did this in the afternoon, I did this at night, and then you look back on that after a month of doing that, and you're gonna, oh man, I'm wasting a lot of time doing this. I'm wasting a lot of time doing that. At that point, throw that on your calendar, and then just start reshuffling things around. Just follow it.
Yeah, that's a great advice too. If you want to realize how much time you actually waste on a day, track what you do. That's your goal, is to track what you do for a week. I promise you, you're wasting more time, but you're saying, I'm doing everything I can. I promise you, you're not. Your eyes are gonna open up and be like, shit. Your phone even tracks how long you've been on Instagram and Facebook. You can track it. It'll tell you spent 8 hours on your phone this week. Well, did you make money doing that? When I'm spending that much time on my phone, me and Chase, we're on our phones a lot. I guarantee you, though, I'm making money on my phone. This is how I make money. I'm not scrolling, liking, hearting, and comment. I'm not doing that crap. It's making me money. If you're just scrolling around for 8 hours, you just found 8 hours. You don't need to spend that. I'm not saying go cold turkey, but you can take an hour from there. You can take 2 hours. Everybody has time. It's just how they allocate it and redistribute it. And again, do you want it bad enough? Is this new goal really within a couple weeks when you go back to your old style? Don't lie to yourself, man. You just didn't want it bad enough. That's all. It's not right or wrong. You just didn't want it bad enough. Simple.
100% too. And that's the thing too. If you're doing something too, they say you do really want something and you say you want it really bad, right? And you're trying to set up those goals and stuff too. Then you get into it and immediately you start thinking, oh, I just want to play the video game. Oh, I just want to go scroll the shorts. And then you start doing that stuff. Your goals aren't good enough. You really don't want it bad enough. That's the big thing, is if you really want it, and then you get off track and you start playing the games again and you start scrolling through Facebook again or whatever it is, whatever your vice is, right? You didn't want it bad enough. It's that simple.
Or again, either that or your goals were too big and you don't know how to break them down. True. And that's where we come in. I do a lot of this. And they're not even full courses. Somebody can just pay me for an hour to help you build out a bronze, a silver, and a gold. And you might have to repay me to stay accountable, but I can just set up a plan for you. Let's just ease into this. Whatever it is you want to do, let's just ease into it. You're not going to be perfect at it. You're not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years if you're that overweight. But you will be better off day one starting this program than you were yesterday. Even for a minute, going into the gym for a minute, you're better off. Start small. But understand, when you fall back, or if you fall back, you made a choice. That's it. That's the whole point of the video. Is you just have to understand every choice you make in your life has a consequence, good or bad, still has a consequence. And the only person you get to praise or blame is you. Nobody else can do this work for you. We can help you create the plan. We can help you break through some of these limiting beliefs you have, but you still have to do the work. It's still your glory or still your demise.
Yep.
Whatever it is you want to do, man, I'll help you get there. You want to go to your demise? Keep doing the same thing you're doing. You're at your demise. You want to go to your glory? Well, we might have to give up some things, right, to get there. It's your choice.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is we don't just offer coaching to everyone. We offer coaching to people that are ready for the accountability, because that's the whole point of the coaching. We're here offering you guys free content. Like, we're here right now for free. You're here watching this for free. And we have a ton of resources for you. We even have a breakthrough session that you can go sign up for on our website, and it's free. And all that stuff is free. That's nothing but free value for you guys. And so we're not just here to take your money. The only reason that we offer coaching is for the people that are ready to actually jump on to the next step. They know they're ready. They know what they want. They know they just need accountability. They know they just need support. That's when we know they're ready for the actual coaching program. I'm not going to push anybody who isn't ready into this program. We have options for you. I have resources for you to take advantage of. That's what the whole point of this free breakthrough session is. I can offer you resources that will help you, but it's on you. And if you keep failing and if you keep not following through with this stuff, that's on you. And that's what this coaching is for. And so if you're ready to take that next step, and if you're ready to actually get these results, and you know what you want, and you know you just need some guidance, and you know you just need a plan laid out, and you want the accountability from us to actually get there, to collapse that time for you, that's what we're here for. And that's what the coaching's for. So if you know you're ready for that, go sign up for that breakthrough session right now. Let's talk.
Yep, absolutely. We're here for you either way, and when you do give up that hour, you just did an opportunity cost, whether you really is there or not. You gave up an hour to talk to us. Now, I'm not cheap. I'll be the first to say you want coaching with us. We're not cheap, but we're effective. And again, you had an opportunity cost. Am I willing to give up money for this service? Is this service going to serve me for the better? The people that I coach, yes, that's why they pay me.
Are you worth the investment in yourself?
Are you worth? Yeah, even with my scalp micropigmentation, the same thing. I'm not cheap. I'm probably one of the more expensive SMP artists, but I've been doing it a lot longer than most people. So my value is I can condense time. What might take an artist 4 or 5 sessions, I'm done in 2. I'm collapsing the time because I've done it so many times. This is what you pay for. You pay to collapse your time to get really good, really fast. That's what you're paying for. So with that, this has been an awesome, a little bit more straightforward this time, because a lot of people like to lie to themselves, and I'm not going to let you. I'm just telling you, this is just a choice you made. That's it. It's not right or wrong. It's just a choice. But you can't use an excuse. I don't have it. Especially going back to Memorial Day. Every person that died had a choice. They could have ran. They could have got out of the draft. They could have been, these weak, feminized men. But they made a choice to go to war, to die for their country. They made the highest opportunity cost. There's no greater opportunity cost that they sacrificed for us. So when we're here bitching and moaning and complaining that, oh, my life isn't, it's just not where it is. At least you effing got a life. So please remember that. They don't.
It's true.
They don't. I take that very seriously. And so when people are complaining and bitching, especially on a holiday like this, is they died for you so you could bitch about some girl that broke up with you. Gives a shit. Hell,
It's true.
Yeah.
It's all a choice. All a choice.
It is. It is. But I do want everybody to enjoy their holiday weekend. Please remember why it's for, but enjoy your friends, your family, the barbecues. Thank a vet. if you see one wearing a hat, especially our old timers, you know, that they have so much information and so much history and story. I love seeing somebody that has even a Vietnam hat on or World War II. I stop them. Even though this isn't Veterans Day, I'm getting off topic. This is Memorial Day, but I do stop them and thank them for their service. I do want to hear their story. I want to know what unit they were in. I want to know what they did. I just find it fascinating that there's men out there who sign literally a blank check on their life. I'm like, yep, if it happens, it happens. I don't want to die. I don't want to die for you, but if I have
Life
to,
is on the line. Yeah.
and so I give 100% to every veteran. I don't care if you were a cook or an SF operator, doesn't matter. It's just amazing to me. And I'm glad I'm part of that brotherhood, but it's just amazing that there's other people out there that have that same mindset. Like, yep, cool. Let's sign away. Cool.
100%.
So have an amazing weekend, Chase. Thank you so much for, you know, us, this dialogue. These are awesome. I love these lives. You know, looking forward to next weekend, whatever we're going to talk about.
Absolutely. It's always kind of one of those things where that's what we're here to do, is offer as much value as possible. These things are unscripted.
Yeah.
We're just here to talk. We're here to have a chat. We're here to just kind of see where these conversations go. We would like you guys to jump in on these conversations. Yeah. Definitely comment, show up for these, invite your friends, anybody who you think could use your help. Even, like I said, females, males, it doesn't matter. Invite your husbands, invite your wives. If you guys feel like you can really get some value here, and if you guys feel like this will really improve your relationships, that's exactly what we're here for. That's why this stuff is free. And like I said, if you really feel like you want to take that next step, definitely go and book that breakthrough session that we have on our website. The link is below. If you guys want to find out more information on this from the video Jared made a couple weeks ago, definitely jump down there. That link is down there too. And at the same time, too, if you guys want to continue engaging with us, you want to open up the dialogue, have a conversation with a lot of other people in our network, and go join our Facebook group as well. And like I said, we've got that low-ticket membership that we have, too. And if you guys are interested in that, let me know. All of the courses that are going to be going live there are going to be basically just for that one small membership fee. Really, the coaching is all about the accountability. That's why the coaching is expensive. If you really want to take our time for us to show up for you, and you want to show up for you, and you really want to invest in yourself, then definitely let us know. But we appreciate you guys. Thank you for taking this time out on your Friday. We'll see you guys next week.
Sir.